with the loss. So just give us, Fraser, just give us your review of that game.
It was a tough test match. There was definitely a lot of grit shown, from our side, losing some key players early on throughout the match, and showed the quality of the squad that we have. And there were some, key moments that we probably lost out there. But credit to the block, but just a bit disappointed at the moment.
Joe, maybe just a word on Corey's performance. What he did quite well.
Yeah, I thought he played really well. Took his opportunity. He was sharp to get that early try in the left-hand corner. I thought he contested the aerial game really well, and I thought he carried the ball really strongly. He's not a big man, but he's powerful. You don't generate the sort of speed he's got without being powerful, and I thought he did really well. One time he got into the clear, and I think he chipped ahead, and we just didn't quite get the luck we needed there. But he's creating things like that. Then you give yourself a chance.
Just Joe, injury of Nick White, do you think that had a big impact on him? Because we saw that first try that kick through and it was really effective. But just do you think that Nick going off and losing that sort of nuggety, that type of mongrel fight that you guys have?
Yeah, and he reads the game so well. I think he'll be a great coach. He certainly. He runs the game really well for us, and losing both him and Tom Wright, who was outstanding last week, obviously, just caused a little bit of a reshuffle. And that early in the game, it does destabilise you a little bit. And the Springboks got away to a good lead in that first half. But I thought we were really competitive, and. In the second half, I think we won the second half, not by enough to get quite back into the game, but at 23-22 and a conversion to come, I really felt that the players had done a fantastic job to roll their sleeves up and get back into that game.
And just how serious that HIA, because he failed it obviously, so...
Yeah, so he failed HIA, so he's feeling fine now. But that it's very definitive, that process. We're trying to look after players as best we can, and it's definitive. If you fail it on 2 counts, then you've got to be removed. And we've got a good deputy in Tate McDermott, but then he hurt his ankle, about 25 minutes in, and so he was hobbling a little bit as well, which didn't help either. So I was massively proud of the way the players stayed in the game after losing those guys, and then losing joseph-aukuso at half time. We had young Tane Edmed who hasn't played for us since Ireland last year, and he had to come in and play 12, and I was delighted for them that they actually patched themselves together and were still very competitive and still made some nice clean line breaks as well.
Yep. Joe, you've won one and lost one on the road. Now you'll be at home against the unpredictable Argentinian side. We're probably looking forward to that.
Certainly looking forward to getting back home. But yeah, I think after today and even losing 3 guys last week, that the attritional nature of the tour is going to make it a little bit more difficult coming up against Argentina, because I do have massive respect for not just their team but their coaching staff as well. Felipe Contepomi I'd know well, and would have a lot of time for. So yeah, I guess that's something once we land back in Australia we'll work out and go forward from.
One on the side and in the middle.
Joe, what does this do for the belief of your squad and also the development going towards the World Cup you'll be hosting?
Yeah, I know it's a loss, but it's 3 tries apiece with a team that got destabilised early on. I think it does give belief. I think it felt like we made more line breaks. We created dangerous situations. We didn't finish them well enough, and that's a credit to a Springbok side who put a lot of pressure on defensively, and I think they had 35 kicks in play. So, you know, they certainly peppered us with balls in the air and balls behind us, and it wasn't something we didn't expect, but losing both Joseph, who's very good in the air, and Tom Wright probably didn't help us much. But then it's got to give belief to Andrew Callaway, who came good back there, and there's a sensational take from Tane Edmed at one stage, who, you know, had to come off the bench and play 12. So there's positive things that we can pick out of it, and positive things that we can build on, as you said.
Just in the back end.
Joe, maybe a twofold question. Do you feel the Boks were better this weekend, following Ellis Park? And, you know, did you think potentially during this game as well that the game was there for you guys to go?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen the Boks play as well as they did in the first 20 minutes last week. We couldn't breathe. They were on us, and they got the first 4 kicks back. They didn't quite have the same success today. So I thought that was the best window I've seen the Boks play for some time. But they know how to wear you down, and they were very physical. And so, you know, I think it's hard to compare week to week, but again, I felt we finished quite strongly and created a nice overlap at the end when Fussy got the penalty against them. But yeah, it was hard work to be able to create those spaces today, and so I think they suffocated us a little bit better. On the other side, I don't think our cohesion was as good with losing all those players, particularly early on.
One of the front here.
Hi, Joe. Rassie just spoke about, like, from last week into this week, that free-flowing and energetic style that a lot of your backline players bring in your game plan has rattled them a bit. Is that something that gives not just you guys, but you would think the rest of the competition as well, and New Zealand coming up, a bit of confidence that the Boks see that as an area that they are wary of in everybody else, and you can capitalize on going up against it?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Well, I felt we were disjointed today, so we didn't quite get the fluency that we were looking for with the changes that we had during the game. But yeah, I think Rassie will be concerned that there was still, I think, half a dozen line breaks, and he'll be looking back at that, and that's always something you do as a coach. It's always hard to compare what happened today with what the All Blacks are going to do in Eden Park, but you do know that the All Blacks are a free-flowing side. Having said that, they scrummed and mauled to kind of beat Argentina into submission last week.
Joe, during your tenure with Ireland and also last week, what is it that you know about the Boks, that you learned about the Boks, that makes you a bit of a Springbok slayer?
Boy, I don't know about that, but I would say that there was a lot less focus on the actual Springboks than there was. We feel like we're playing a little bit of catch up. You know, this time last year, the Springboks, I thought in a canter, put 2 bonus point victories on us without having to stress too much. Compared to where we are now, I feel like we're growing our game, and we're building some confidence with the players that we have, and some of them the players we don't have, because we're going to have to bring some in and build some confidence with them. But it's a group I'm enjoying immensely, and they enjoy their work, they enjoy the way that we're trying to play, and so I guess it's as much about us. We definitely have massive respect for Springboks. We know they're going to suffocate you. You're going to have less time to play. You're going to play under pressure, sometimes on the back foot. And I thought in the first half we tried to play a little bit too much on the back foot, and then we exacerbated the pressure we were under. So I think we still got to get a balance in how we're playing.
At the front here.
Joe,
it's clear to see Australia is obviously building very nicely as well. With your halfback pairing with Nick White and of course James O'Connor there and some of the other older years, was it important to get the blend right in terms of holding this way?
We had probably Jake Gordon starting with Tom Liner. Tom Liner copped a knock in the third British and Irish Lions Test. Noel Olesio copped a knock in the Fijian Test. So we're a little bit down on number 10's availability, and Jake White picked up Jake Gordon. Jake's unavailable for us. He doesn't qualify, but it was good to see him pop in during the week. But I'm not sure he played halfback. Jake Gordon for us has been very good in recent times as well. So with Jake Gordon, Nick White, Tate McDermott, and we've got Ryan Lonergan with us as well, who's a very good 9. We feel like we're building our capability there, and that's as long as we can keep Nick White from retiring. He retired after the British and Irish Lions third test, and then came out of retirement 2 weeks later. So we'll see how he is after tonight. And again, we're trying to build strength and depth with our 10s. But that takes time. It's such a pivotal position, being in that pivot position of the 9-10.
Just a bit of a reflection for yourself, Joe. When you took over with Australia, it was big times, but obviously now there seems to be an improvement in the side. You guys did very well up against the best, some of the best rugby players in Europe, and now putting up two good performances against last week were the world number 1, now world number 3. But I mean, do you feel this team is getting somewhere on the Wallaby side?
Yeah, I'd like to think that. I feel like we're all working really hard to try to achieve that. One of the things, I've never had so many messages of support as I've seen this week for the Wallabies. Last year was pretty quiet, and we were trying to build our way through it. And the Rugby Championship was really tough for us. So we'd love to think that we can measure our improvement in our marquee tournament that we play annually, with a continuation of really positive performances. But our strength and depth is going to be tested, and so the guys who are experienced, they're going to have to get around the new guys who come in, and we're going to have to kind of calibrate those guys as quickly as possible, assimilate them into the group, and try to kick on against Argentina in 2 weeks' time.
One here and the last one over.
Just for Fraser, last week you guys were really clinical at the breakdown, especially yourself played a big role in that department. Tonight, how do you feel it went at the breakdown for the Australian side?
Yeah, Springbok were great when they had the ball, and for myself, didn't really get too many pictures in there. They shut down the space quite well, and we're on the front foot a bit, so it's difficult to try to put your head over the ball when the game line is getting past. So I guess they did really, really well there, and there's a few times we got over the ball and try to slow it down or try to get a result there, but I guess the deck wasn't the greatest, and they did a good job.
Last one here.
Coach, I just want to know, so obviously South Africa and Rassie emphasizes a lot what the rugby means for their country and they want to give back. I want to know if you guys, obviously in Australia as well, rugby isn't the biggest sport there. Obviously it's part of the building of a culture there is to give back to the country. So I want to know, is it also something you guys emphasize in team meetings, in practices, that what you guys are building is bigger than just your squad, but also to make rugby bigger and better in Australia? Is it something you guys talk about?
Yeah, we do a little bit. We tend to be really focused on how we play and getting people excited about how we play, so they come along and watch and support the team. As I said earlier, it's the most support I've sensed since starting the job maybe 18 months ago. So, and we're always trying to grow our footprint in Australia. There are a couple of big sports that directly compete for I suppose the hearts and minds of the people. And Australia is a passionate supporters of sport nation, and we have to earn that support every time we go out and play. I'd like to think we didn't lose too much support by not quite getting the result today. Very disappointed we didn't at least get the bonus point. We had a few maybe opportunities to get that, which would have really put us already on a better footing than we were at the end of last year's Rugby Championship. So, I think if people can see the effort that's going in, and you earn their support, you grow the footprint. There is really strong rugby competitions in schools in Australia, and hopefully we can hang on to enough of those young players who are very talented to build that footprint as I described.